everybody, and welcome to today's stream. My name is Guy, and we are playing through the Flight from the Dark Lone Wolf Choose Your Own Adventure, or solo play, I think they'd probably call it today, game book, which was written by Joe Dever in 1985, somewhere around there. And so we're playing through it. We have died twice, and we're on our third character now. All still named Lone Wolf, who is this mysterious Kai youngling, Kai initiate. The Kai are kind of like fantasy Jedi. They have mind powers and some limited abilities and things. Nonetheless, if you look around the screen, if this is your first time, you will see that down below me we have the Kai disciplines that we have access to. Camouflage, Sixth Sense, Healing, Mind Shield, and Tracking. Those have so far held held up pretty well in terms of our survival rate. If you look on the side over here, you'll see we've got our combat skill, which is 17, potential of 19, maximum of 23, I think, if you really min-max it, which we didn't. Endurance points is how much health we have. We start off with 22. We're currently down at 11, but we regain 1 health point each time I turn through a chapter that we don't engage in combat with. And it's up to you in the chat to remind me how many extra endurance points we should actually be having, because for me to remember is a little bit crazy. Now, something that we normally do is whenever there is an option presented, I will read out the options and the page numbers that we need to turn to, the entry numbers that we need to turn to. For example, turn to 88 or 264. Your responsibility in the live chat, anyway, is to type in that number. Now, there is a poll that I could run, but it takes more time for me to set up the poll than it does for me just to give you the numbers. So we're going to try the poll, see how that works, and go from there. It's just a lot of technical stuff to have to keep track of, if that makes sense. So I've done a little dummy run already. We shall see what happens there. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing. We are trying to get through book 1. Now, when I read through this book many years ago, we're talking 20 odd years ago, I always thought of this book as being quite a quick read through. You kind of got through it fairly quickly. We're struggling a little bit. Now, if you pick up the new edition, and I have a new edition here, already packaged, ready to go off to last week's giveaway winner. We might have some more of those, by the way. The makers, the owners of the Lone Wolf series, Home Guard Press, are watching these. So if we make enough noise and we spread the word loud enough, we might get some more books to send out, or some other goodies. So remember to hit that like button or the subscribe button if you haven't, and to share this stream with others. Let them know that it's happening and that they should join in, because it is quite a lot of fun, I think so. Now, our intrepid hero has been journeying all over the map. Our goal is to get from the Kai Monastery, which we left a while ago, and to try and get to Holmgard to warn the king that there is an invasion from the Dark Lords of Helgadad. They are on their way. They are trying to come over the Dernkog Mountains in the west and invade Sumaland and destroy everything. Now, we know that Turan, the city in the north, is under attack because we met a young wizard named Baindon, who gave us a crystal star pendant, which was very nice of him, in exchange for us saving his life. So we know that Turan has been invaded, probably by the sea, something along those lines, and that means that the army is trying to close in on Holmgard. We have to desperately try to stop this from happening. Anyway, that is our objective. We're wandering around. At the moment, we don't really know where we are. At least I don't know where we are. I certainly have not kept track of where we should be or shouldn't be, or whatever the case might be. So, right. This is where our journey continues. We have been traveling through the forest, and we overheard or saw a figure lying prone behind a boulder. Your Kai skill enables you to recognize the boots and leggings of a king's soldier. You can sense that the man is wounded and in need of help. If you wish to aid him, turn to 88. If you would rather leave him here, turn to 264. So 88 or 264. 264, folks. And so I'm going to try that idea now. 88 or 264. Poll is up. Go ahead and hit the poll option and let me know what we should do there. Now, we do have the ability of healing. We do have healing, which is quite nice. So that's something that we can do. But at the same time, we are trying to avoid giacs, which are the evil minions of the Dark Lords, as well as a whole host of other evil things running around. So this could be, I mean, who knows? Who knows? All right, that poll is running. Hopefully this will save us. I have a suspicion I know where we're going to go. 88 seems to be the one at the moment. So let's have a look at that. We've got 17 votes so far off of 31 people watching. I'm going to assume that if you haven't voted, it's because A, you're just enjoying the story and the company and hanging out with us, in which case, brilliant. B, you can't vote because you're listening to the stream, you're not actually watching the stream. Or C, you don't want to vote, in which case, you're just along for the ride. So far, I'm going to take it when we get sort of over a majority. We are over a majority now. And so I'm going to end the poll and say, right, the poll, she is over, and 78% say we should go on to 88. So that's what we're going to do. 88, here we go. Now, if you were part of the very first stream, we tried this once before and failed miserably. So hopefully we'll get it right this time around. You cautiously peer around the rock to see a soldier lying on his back. By his side is a spear and shield. On the shield is the painting of a white Pegasus, the Prince of Sumerland's emblem. He is one of the prince's soldiers, and he is only just conscious. His uniform is badly torn, and you can see that he has a deep wound in his left arm. As you move nearer, his eyes flicker open. "Heal me, my lord," he begs. "I can barely feel my arm." If you possess and wish to use the Kai discipline of healing on this man, turn to 216. If you do not possess the skill or do not want to use it, then turn to 31. I'm going to make a call here and just say that we're going to try and heal him because we have healing. Why wouldn't we? 216. 216. 216. 216. Here we go. Excuse me. Placing one hand on his forehead and the other on his wounded arm, you feel the warmth of your healing powers leave your body and give strength to the injured man. He tells you his name is Trimis, and he is a soldier in Prince Pelithar's army. The prince and his troops are engaged in battle to the south, where a large force of the Dark Lord's creatures are attacking the bridge of Elima. During the fight, he had been snatched into the air by a Kran and dropped into the forest. You make the soldier as comfortable as possible before continuing on your mission. 264. 264. All right, so we got there in the end anyway, but we did some good. We did some good. Hopefully Trimis will come back to us. I see our endurance points have to go up, which is good. Keep reminding me. They actually got by another one because 264 is a non-combat chapter, so I'm going to get ahead of you guys there. You have not gone far when you hear the sound of battle to the west. If you wish to follow the sound, well, we're going to head on over to 97, if we wish to follow the sound. If we don't wish to follow the sound, we will head deeper south and go on to 6. So do we want to go to the sound, 97, or do we want to head south on 6, number 6? So vote now, 97 or 6. 6 takes us south. Not sure where south would put us. Well, we're not entirely sure where exactly we are, but heading south does at least put us in the right direction of Homeguard from almost anywhere on the map. I don't think we've gone nearly as far as the River Eladil, but we haven't even crossed the River Honorum as far as I can remember. Anyway, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. 13 now, I'm told. Yes, we're on 13. Get away from the axe monster. Too powerful, says Vincent Ambramo. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Vincent. I mean, I do know what you're talking about, but this is about us exploring and not using our own knowledge. This is about the Lone Wolf himself. Would he have that knowledge that there's an axe monster? No, I don't think he would. So, if you're going to make comments, please, no spoilers as to what is coming up. Try and imagine that you are Lone Wolf and you are in this forest. You're a young acolyte. You're trying to survive. It's chaos everywhere. Know what you know and make your decisions based on that. I am looking at the poll, and the poll is interesting. 20 votes. I'm ending it. And we're going south. We're not going anywhere near the sound of battle. We're going to 6. I suppose our mission is to survive. And we weren't fully trained. We're not trained in combat. We're trained in healing. In the distance, you can hear the sound of horses galloping nearer. You crouch behind a tree and wait as the riders come closer. They are the cavalry of the King's Guard, wearing the white uniforms of His Majesty's army. If you wish to call to them, turn to 183. If you wish to let them pass, and then continue on your way through the forest, turn to 200. So let's do that quickly. 183, you call out to them. And 200... we let them pass without incident. We don't reach out to them. It's a tough one. They're obviously on a mission. We don't want to slow them down necessarily. But at the same time, they are the King's Guard, not necessarily pulling us into any conflict. We could get some information. There's a big battle going on. Don't go down there. But then they might recruit us. I don't know if they have the authority to recruit us, really. Well, I don't know. Do we call out to them, 183, or do we let them pass on 200? Chat is voting, and just a little bit more. Get your votes in there, chat. Get your votes in there. The battle will have pointy things. We don't do well with pointy things, says Laura Bones. Hello, Laura. Absolutely, we do not do well with pointy things. Well, not traditionally in the past, anyway. And let them through. If they want to talk, they'll stop. Well, maybe they will. Hello, Wolvie. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I'm not sure. +1 endurance points. Thank you, chat, keeping me honest. Right. 21 votes. We're going to end the poll. And the poll is very, very close. Hasn't been this close before. 57% to 42. And the decision is 200. We're going to let them pass and continue on our way through the forest. All right, 200. Here we go. Oh, we get an illustration. Night is starting to close in. The shadows of the forest are growing longer and darker. Just as you are about to stop and rest, you see through the trees a line of people moving south along a wide highway. Moving closer, you notice a large merchant's caravan in the center of the dusty turnpike. It is drawn by 6 large horses and is moving much faster than any of the other traffic. This could be your chance to reach the capital as quickly as possible. Now, we don't get much choice here. If you wish to jump onto the caravan, 10 to 78, if you wish to use the Kai discipline of camouflage to hide in among the packing cases strapped to the roof, turn to 168. Well, we did say that the moment there was something along these lines, we simply would go with the Kai discipline if we had it. So we do have it, so we'll follow that. But let's look at the illustration first. This is the carriage that we see thundering past us. Quite a dramatic looking carriage, very ornate, and it has flags. So that's got to make it official, right? It's got flags. 168. 168. And our endurance goes up by 1. To 15. We're clawing back. We will. I'm not going to jinx it. You pull yourself to the top of the opulent caravan and nestle among the traveling cases and bags. Night will soon engulf the highway. A chill wind blows from the west, and you pull your cloak around yourself to keep warm. You listen to the voices below, and you can smell the mouth-watering aroma of spiced meat. It reminds you that you are very hungry and must now take a meal. Now, we don't have hunting, do we? No, we don't. So we have to eat a meal, so that puts us on 0 meals. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. All right, 0 meals it is. Steal the flags and put our own flag. I hate to tell you this, but we don't have a flag. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. No flags for us. We've eaten a meal, we're not in combat, our endurance goes up by 1. The fatigue of your ordeal finally catches up with you, and you drift off into a restless sleep. moment, you are woken by the cries of a Kran circling above the caravan. It is early morning and the sky is clear and bright. You can see a pack of doom wolves less than a quarter of a mile away along the highway ahead. They are preparing to attack. You must act quickly. Oh, I don't know what to do. If you decide to gather your equipment and run for the cover of the trees, turn to 188. If you decide to cut free one of the horses and try to break through the attacking doom wolves to the clear road beyond, turn to 16. Oh my goodness, this is an interesting one. All right, so if we go to 188, we're going to try and run into the forest. Forget the caravan. Apparently the caravan is not important to us. Or are we going to steal one of the horses, leave the caravan vulnerable, and just make a run for it on 16. 188, we go into the forest. 16, we try and bash through the doom wolves. I really wish we could just stay with the caravan and see how they get through. 6 horses versus 6 doom wolves. Well, it's a pack of doom wolves, I guess. Damn, I wish I could count so I could work out the odds. But I don't know. Cutting free one of the horses? Won't the coachman try and stop me for being a thief? Are we thieves? Is that really how we're going to set our example? I mean, the world is ending and there is an invasion happening. I don't know. Perhaps it would be better if we just ran into the trees. The forest has always been our friend. Oh, bother and woe. What to do? What to do? Chat split as well. 50-50 at the moment. 16 votes. Our mission is more important than the caravan, says one of our consciences. Is a doom wolf better or worse than a dire wolf? I don't know. I skipped that part. I know what the footprints look like, but I don't know which one's better or worse. Woe is us. Woe is us. 23 votes. We have got a consensus. And that consensus is we're running into the forest. We're not horse thieves. We have more pride than that. Although this may slow us down somewhat. We have travelled throughout the night, well, assuming that the caravan didn't stop. We wouldn't know if the caravan stopped or not, though, because, well, we were asleep at the time. You can see the shadow of the Kran getting larger all around you. It suddenly strikes, pitching you forward onto your face with the power of its attack. Pick a number from the random number table. All right, I just happen to have a random number table right here. And so we will pick a number. And that number is 3. All right, we're ignoring the lose endurance points. It's just a random number generator. If the number you have picked is 0 to 6, the Kran has ripped away your backpack. You have lost the pack and all the equipment that was inside it. Oh my goodness, we have lost the pack and all of the equipment that was inside it. Well, there's nothing that we can do about that. The equipment that was inside it was, well, nothing, actually, because these are all special items that are not actually in our backpack. They're special items, except for the axe and the weapon, which don't count as items either. Maybe the green gem is not a special item. We're going to lose the green gem. You know what? We're going to lose the green gem because, yeah, the star or the weapons, absolutely. Threadbare ink, keeping us legally sound with the books. All right, lovely. All right, so you have lost the backpack and all of the equipment that was inside of it. Well, that's much better than the alternative, which was to lose endurance points. Turn to 303. Kran, back, be gone, you leathery winged beastie. The forest here is sparse and hilly. It does not give much cover from an attack from the air. You move as quickly as you can from tree to tree to avoid the Kran, but you hear the sound of the doom wolves close behind. Sorry, I had to do it. I just had to do it. Doom wolves. Right. If you have the Kai discipline of camouflage, turn to 237. Thank goodness we do. 237. 237. I feel like this is putting everything that I have learned to the test. +3 endurance from healing. No, +1 endurance. Only +1, I'm afraid. So that puts us on 17. Right. Slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. You make full use of your Kai discipline and quickly burrow deep into the loose earth of the wooded hillside. Covering yourself with your cloak, you pull a loose branch across your hastily dug shelter. Roll a random number. 5. If you have picked a number between 5 to 9, then you are not so lucky. 72. I got a bad feeling about this. You turn to face a sneering giac and the razor-fanged jaws of its mount, a doom wolf. You must fight them as one enemy. A giac plus a doom wolf has a combat skill of 15, so we are at advantage here. Basically, not by much. We do have terrible luck. Oh yes, we do. We do have terrible luck. Of all the things, why would the carriage come after us and not the caravan? Well, possibly because the Dark Lords are probably hunting us. They know that we might have survived, and if they know that, then there is even more peril for us. We have to fight the Doom Wolf. It will not run away. We have no bonuses or penalties whatsoever. So here we go. Have at thee, giac and Doom Wolf. Do we attack the wolf first, or do we attack the giac riding it? It's an interesting question, but a moot one. As we strike at it, we roll a 7. The enemy loses 10 endurance points, and we lose 1. As they strike back, snarling and biting and clawing. They have 24 endurance points. They've just lost 10. That puts them on 14. I like the odds. I like the odds here. All right. The enemy loses 9, putting them on 5. We lose 2, putting us on 15. We will not be defeated. I will tell Homeguard. The giac and the wolf die under our flurry of blows as our expertise carries the day. Oh, thank goodness that Sunblade taught us all we needed to know about using that axe. That was really useful. 265. You quickly move off into the forest before more doom wolves or Kran appear. You have walked for more than an hour when you reach the top of a rocky hill. The sight that befalls you on the side... My apologies. The sight that befalls you on the other side is one of hope. But there is also a daunting challenge to be faced. 142. Expertise. Oh dear, Richard Gibson. Expertise, really. Gilson, sorry. Expertise indeed. Right, well, this goes up by 1. By 2 because of this chapter that I can see here. All right. You can see the tall, grey-white walls and shimmering spires of Homeguard, its banners fluttering from the battlements in the fresh morning breeze. Stretching out towards the west, the river Elidil traces its course from the mountains of the Dernkarg Range to the Holm Gulf. But from below the mountain peaks, you can see a vast black army marching relentlessly on towards the city. To your right, you can see the highway heading off over the rolling plains towards Homeguard. At a run, you could reach the outer fieldworks of the city's defenses in an hour, but you would be in the open for most of the time and vulnerable to attack by Kran. However, ahead of you, a wide and muddy river drifts sluggishly towards the Elidil. You could use the cover of the river banks and swim towards the capital. Or, towards your left, lies the graveyard of the ancients. These tombs and crumbling monuments to a forgotten age would conceal your approach, but it is a forbidden area. Many are the unnamed horrors that lie there in restless sleep, waiting to consume the unwary trespasser. All right, this is a complicated one. Start a poll. Here we go. So, do we go? Try the luck on the highway. Run out into the open, exposing ourselves to the Kran. Perhaps we would do better if we splashed into the river and tried to make our way across. Or maybe we don't believe in ghost stories. After all, they're just stories. I've never been into the graveyard. I've never seen these things. So, the highway is 58. The river is 135. And the graveyard is 102. Start your voting now. Well, the highway certainly takes us directly into the fieldworks. That may be the best, but if the Crown are searching for us, they'll surely see us. However, what if that river has strong undercurrents? Or perhaps things in the river? I can't imagine there'd be much, given that this is so close to a capital city, surely. But then the alternative would be to take the graveyard. And although we don't necessarily believe in ghosts and goblins, well, actually, we do believe in goblins. They're called giacs. So I guess the best option, the option that everyone's voting for, is to try the river. I think that's the safest bet. I mean, at least we're not going to get eaten by ghouls and goblins. 135. Peering over the steep undercurrent of the riverbank, you can see a tangle of driftwood along the river's edge. A large tree trunk has grounded on the clay bank next to a small canoe. Oh, interesting. Interesting. How are you folks finding the poll, by the way? Is it working for you? Is it better? Do you just like to randomly type in the numbers? Does this delay? Does it bother you? I know chat seems to be having a little bit of an issue. New poll is up, and I'll give you those options right now. If you wish to use the log to float down the river, turn to 223. Or, if you wish to use the canoe, turn to 4. Well, whose canoe is it? I mean, we can't just steal someone's canoe, can we? Or, at the same time, a log is not exactly a craft. Do logs sink? Wait a minute. I've spent time tracking in the wild. I don't think logs sink. Log or a canoe? It's a tough one. Certainly seems to be tough for everyone else as well. Log or what if there's something in the canoe? What if there's something under the log? What if it's not a log? What if it's a cron log or something? I don't know. So many different choices. But it seems as if we're going to take the canoe. I mean, it's a craft designed for going on water, so I don't know why I've gone into that accent. But still, we'll take the canoe. 4. Right at the front of the book. Which is usually where the numbers are. Did that log just blink? No! Oh dear. It is a small one-man canoe in very poor condition. The wood has split and warped, and the craft appears to be leaking in several places. You quickly patch up the worst of the holes with some clay and bail out the water. This seems to stop the leaking for the moment. Stowing your equipment at the bow, you set off downstream, using a piece of driftwood as a paddle. After a short while, you hear the sound of horses galloping towards you along the left bank. Grop, 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 grop. Well, horses. Did the Dark Lords use horses? I think that's kind of like a home guard thing, really. Do we want to hide in the bottom of the canoe and hope that they just don't notice us? It's a small one-man canoe, folks. Perhaps we want to get their attention. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing this. Sorry. Never mind. Ignore the poll. Because I didn't read the third option. If you wish to use the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, turn to 218. Yes, we do. 218. We always do. That is our go-to. Your senses reveal that more than just horses are heading your way. You can just make out the very high shrieks of giac war cries in the distance. By the number of cries and curses, you estimate that there are over a dozen giacs, and probably doom wolves as well. You decide that advertising your existence is perhaps not quite such a good idea after all. Turn to 75. Well, we didn't want to advertise our existence anyway. Peering out carefully, you can see 3 green-clad men on horses racing along the bank. You recognize them as border rangers, the regiment of the King's army that police the western borders. One of them is wounded and is slumped over the neck of his horse. Close behind follow a pack of 20 doom wolves, their giac riders all firing arrows at the rangers which fall all around them. One ranger drops from his horse and rolls down the riverbank, a black arrow deeply embedded in his right leg. Do we wish to help the ranger, or do we stay hidden and drift downstream? How many people are gonna have to die before we get to Home Guard? Or do we stop? We are healers by training. I mean, I don't know. Do we help the ranger, 260? Or do we stay hidden and drift downstream on 163? If we stay, we're in trouble. I mean, there's 20 doom wolves, and those are archers. We can't dodge arrows. I think the best course of action is to sacrifice the rider. I only hope that whatever message we bring the king is of value. Surely he knows now that the Dark Lords are attacking. He just has to look out of the battlements and realize no time for charity. Perhaps. I feel bad. And apparently so do you. We're going to help the ranger on 260. The poll is not unanimous, but it's definitely in favor of 260. We can't. If we do, we're no better than the Dark Lords themselves. We have to fight. We have to bring some kind of humanity to this. Swimming towards the bank, you can see the ranger spread-eagled on the water's edge. You reach him, but only to find that he has broken his neck in the fall and is dead. Suddenly, 2 giacs jump on you from above, and you must fight them. You are unarmed and must fight the giacs with your bare hands. Deduct 4 points from your combat skill and fight them one at a time. Boxing! Boxing, hey? Well, great! Boxing! I'm not a very good pugilist, but I'll try. All right, have at thee, giac scum! The enemy loses 10 endurance points, and we lose 1. Puts us down onto 19. We just clawed our way up. Healing was such a useful skill to take. The enemy takes 10, leaving that one on 8. All right, you want some more? Come and get. The giac is knocked down, but we lose 2 as he strikes us back. Oh! All right, you next one. I give you an option to flee. Oh. You're bigger than your friend. You were just letting your friend soften me up, were you? Okay. The enemy loses 11, and we lose 0. Ha ha! Fool! I was keeping my best attack for last. That puts him on... He loses 11. That puts him on 6. Right. This is it. Ha ha! Hopefully. This trick I learned from my mother. Oh! Another 8. The enemy loses and drops. We lose nothing. I told you you should have surrendered. Now quickly, I should get the hell out of here. 156, 156, 156, 156. Black arrows embed themselves in the mud all around you. More giacs have appeared on the steep slope of the riverbank and are firing at you. There is no cover on this side of the river. Yeah. Oh, great. No cover. So, if you wish to dive into the water and swim with the current, 294. If instead you wish to swim across to the cover of the trees on the other bank, 245. But wouldn't that put us on the same side as the giacs currently trying to fire arrows at us? I don't know, but if we're just swimming with the river... Maybe we'll move fast enough that they won't hit us. But the cover of the trees have always been our friend. What to do? We could try and beat them with our fists, I suppose. We took out 2 of them. Maybe we can take out another. I don't know. I do feel a little bit better, though, because I'm not engaged in combat, so I get 1 endurance points back. But what do we do? Still, a few folks need to decide. The options were, do we dive into the water and swim with the current? That's 294. Swim with the current. Or do we cross the river, try and swim across the river, and take the cover of the trees on the other bank? I don't know. That's 245. 245, swim across? Or perhaps we go with the current and just hope to get out of their range. That's the best we can do. The votes are in, and so we're going to do it. We're going to swim with the current as fast as we can. 294. Just don't swallow any of the water. You never know what's in it. This is a medieval river, remember? Sanitation was not particularly great. Staying underwater for as long as you can, you finally surface to see the giacs far behind you. You have lost your weapons and backpack, but at least you are alive. Well, who needed that silly old spear anyway? And that axe did more damage than anything else, I think. I think fighting bare-fisted is better anyway. You wade out of the muddy water and continue your journey under cover of the trees that line the right hand of the bank. Did I go to the right one? I did. 294, right? Yeah, okay. Pick a random number. Here we go. 3. 190. 190. You walk for 3 miles along the water's edge until you chance upon a wrecked river barge. It appears to have served as shelter for someone, as you can see a bed and some cooking utensils through a hole in the deck. Do we wish to search the barge, or do we wish to press on? Oh. That's an interesting idea. If we search the barge, we might find a weapon. I don't particularly fancy my chances of not getting to the castle without a fight. But at the same time, if this is someone's refuge, we might be stealing their only way of getting there, or defending themselves. Or, I mean, we don't have any food left either, and it's getting kind of dark. Are we thieves? We said we weren't thieves, but if they're not here, if they've left, then that's abandoned, and then we're not stealing. So maybe that's the way we go. Let's see. Well, I don't know. I mean, also, it could delay us if we search the barge. There are giacs and doomwolves just behind us. At the same time, maybe if we're in the barge, then they won't see us. So then that might give us more time. And we could find something useful inside the barge, like perhaps a disguise. We're not wearing this very identifiable Kai green cloak everywhere. Let's see. I think the poll has decided for us at 20 votes. That's what I'm waiting for each time, folks. 20 votes. 20 votes gets us to turn to page 20, as a matter of fact. We're going in. Yeah, I think it's best. It seems that whomever lived here left in a great hurry, and they must have left quite recently. A half-eaten meal still remains on the table, and a mug of dark jala is still warm to the touch. No, I will not eat that. I'm not that desperate. Searching a chest and a small wardrobe, you find a backpack, food enough for 2 meals. Yay. And a dagger. It's not a sword, but it'll do. If you wish to take these items, remember to mark them on your action chart. You continue on your mission. 273. We didn't steal them, they left. Probably for good. Maybe they were just going out to relieve themselves because they left their coffee behind, but that's what we're saying for now. And if they do come back, and if they ever report it, I will pay them. Maybe I should leave some gold on the table just in case they do come back. But if they don't come back, then there's nothing for me to... No. They can look me up. They can look me up. But then how will they know to look me up? Maybe I should leave them a note. No, I'm just going to carry on. The outer fieldworks of the city can now be seen. Drawn across the river is a line of barges chained together to form a floating barricade. You can also see soldiers running along the log walls of the fieldworks, and you can hear the faint noise of battle drifting from the west. Do we wish to approach the barges, or do we wish to approach, or do we wish to take cover in the trees? It's always the trees, barges or trees. Why can't it ever be a line of very well-built, well-armored men and women ready to fight and protect us? No, it's always barges or trees. So if we want to approach the barges, it's 179. If we want to take cover in the trees, it's 51. Cover in the trees or the barges. Yeah. I mean, we're not exactly protectors of the peace. We're more like protectors from the Dark Lords. And since the Dark Lords have invaded and effectively killed every single one, I can't be expected to fight the Dark Lords on my own. What am I going to do about it? I'm just one person. But let's see what we're going to do. I'm going to end the poll. We know exactly what we're going to do. We're going to 179. We're going to the barges. We're done hiding. We're done hiding. We're going to take charge of the situation. We're going in. You have been spotted by the guards who level their crossbows at you. Uh-oh. Didn't think about that one. I'm friendly. I swear I'm not covered in mud and blood and grime. Uh-oh. If you wish to raise your hands above your head and walk slowly towards them, turn to 318. If you wish to run for the cover of the trees, turn to 51. Well, since we didn't go to 51 before, I'm going to just veto this one and say 318. We raise our hands above our heads and walk slowly towards them. I feel like running to the forest is just... It's wrong. It's just wrong. Hey, I am a surviving member of the... I'm a Kai master. No, I'm just a Kai. 2 soldiers and a sergeant run towards you, their crossbows aimed at your head. As they get nearer, they recognize your Kai cloak, and a look of relief spreads across their faces. "My lord," says the sergeant, "where are the other Kai masters? We are in desperate need of their wisdom. The Dark Lords press us most cruelly, and our casualties are high." You inform the brave soldier of the fate of your kinsmen and the urgency of your mission to see the king. He takes you back to the barges, where an officer accompanies you on horseback towards the high walls and the main gate of Homeguard. 129. You reach the main gates of the capital and stare in awe at the height of the city walls. 200 feet high, the walls of Homeguard have withstood the ravages of both time and the Dark Lords. You and the officer race through the tunnel of the inner gatehouse 100 yards in length, and finally halt outside the doorway of the main watchtower. Great crowds of soldiers and civilians are running to and fro. If you wish to continue following the officer, turn to 3. If you feel that you stand a better chance of making your way to the King's Citadel on your own, turn to 144. Well, I guess the officer is going to have to go through different stages of bureaucracy, and they're going to have to try and figure out where to go, and I don't know if he has the clearance necessary. My cloak will get me in, for sure. I have been to Homeguard before, but it's chaos at the moment. Everyone is running in all different directions. I don't know what would be best. Maybe, though, the officer will just move us straight through all of the nonsense and just get us there. But I don't know. Maybe we should take a shower before seeing the king. But on the other hand, arriving filthy shows that we've been on an arduous journey. So many questions. Let me see. So many questions. I just need some clarity. I've got clarity. 90%'s worth of clarity, as a matter of fact. We're going to 3. We're going to stay and let the officer sort this whole nonsense out. Staying close to the officer, you follow him through an arched portal and up a short flight of stairs to a long hall. Soldiers run back and forth, bearing orders on ornate scrolls to officers stationed around the city wall. A haggard and scar-faced man, dressed in the white and purple robes of the king's court, approaches you and bids you follow him to the citadel. If you wish to follow this man, turn to 196. If you wish to decline his offer and return to the crowded streets, 144. Since we've volunteered to journey, should we really follow this man? I mean, surely that's the whole point. He is here to escort us, right, Sergeant? You brought us to him. Can you tell us your name, good sir, before we decide to just abandon you? I mean, you are wearing purple and white robes, and you are scar-faced, so that means you're trustworthy, right? Or is it bearded? Or is it bearded and scar-faced that makes you trustworthy? I don't know. So many questions. Do we follow him, 196? Or do we decide to decline his offer and go back out onto those streets, 144? The DM is really telling us heavily that there's a big plot thing out in 144, I feel, as we've been given that option twice. We haven't been given it before, but it's a haggard and scar-faced man. They're always trustworthy. That's exactly what the voices in my head are telling me. 196 it is. Do you come to a citadel often whilst it's being besieged? You follow the man into a small library off the main hall. He pushes one of the many books on the shelves which line all 4 walls, and you hear a metallic click. One section of the bookshelf slowly slides back to reveal a hidden passage. If you wish to follow the man into the passage, turn to there. If you do not want to enter the dark corridor, leave the guild hall and return to the street. Turn to 144. We're in for the penny, I feel. So you know what? I'm not going to do a vote. We're going to carry on. 332. We've committed now. 332. 332. You walk for nearly 10 minutes along a dark and winding corridor, and then start to climb a steep staircase to a small wooden door. The man presses a secret catch, and the door opens. You enter a large, plushly decorated bedroom with a huge marble bath that takes up one corner of the room. The man suggests that you refresh yourself here, whilst he seeks an audience with the king. You quickly bathe and change into some white robes that have been left out on a large marble table. Shortly, the man returns and leads you through a long corridor lined with exquisite tapestries. You finally arrive at a large door guarded by 2 soldiers wearing silver armor. You are about to meet the king. Turn to 350. I hope you don't mind. I'm wearing the white robes that I just saw left behind, and they oddly fit me. Do you have many youngsters wearing white robes? I don't know if I want to answer that question. You enter the Chamber of State, a magnificent hall decorated lavishly in white and gold. The king and his closest advisors are studying a large map spread over a marble plinth in the center of the chamber. Their faces are lined with worry and concentration. A silence fills the hall as you tell of the death of your kinsman and of your perilous journey to the citadel. As you finish your story, the king approaches and takes your right hand in his. Lone Wolf, you have selfless courage, the quality of a true Kai Lord. Your journey here has been one of great peril, and although your news comes as a grievous blow, the spirit of your determination is like a beacon of hope to us all in this dark hour. You have brought great honor to the memory of your masters, and for that we praise you. You receive the praise and heartfelt thanks of the entire hall, an honor that brings a certain redness to your young face. The king raises his hand, and all the voices cease. You have done all that Sumalan could have asked of a loyal son, but she is greatly in need of you still. The Dark Lords are powerful once more, and their ambition knows no bounds. Our only hope lies within Duranor, with the power that once defeated the Dark Lords an age ago. Lone Wolf, you are the last of the Kai. You have the skills. Will you journey to Duranor and return with the Summer Sword, the Sword of the Sun? Only with that gift of the gods may we crush this evil and save our land. If you wish to accept the quest for the Summer Sword, begin your adventure with Book 2 of the Lone Wolf series, Fire on the Water. Yay! We did it! We did it! We finished book 1! Brilliant! Well, there we go. It only took us 3 tries. Folks, what a pleasure it was reading this book through with your input and your help. Book 2. Do we do it? Do we do book 2? If so, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Let me know. I think that it's a great achievement for a collective to have navigated our way through this book. These books were not written to be easy. This was in an age where it was ruthless because you had a lot of time on your hands, so you could afford to die a couple times. Anyway, Book 2, Fire on the Water. I will tell you this now. In my assemblage of the books over time, and these are them behind me here. These are the books behind me. I had to go to second-hand bookstores. I had to travel all around Southern Africa because I was based in South Africa and find these books. Now, this book in particular, this book I bought for, I don't know if you can see it there very faintly, 20 South African Rand, which by today's currency would be £1 or just less than £1, probably about 70p. In those days, it was my entire pocket money. And if you had bought this when this book came out in the UK, it would have been £3.50 or $5 in Canada, according to this edition anyway. What a wonderful journey that this book has taken me on, and hopefully will take you on as well. Now, the new updated versions, which have much more interesting covers, or maybe not more interesting covers, but certainly much more engaging covers, are these new books here from Home Guard Press. You can grab them on Amazon, and they'll be sent through to you. This one contains, it's obviously a lot bigger than the original. The text is a nice size text. New images from a new artist as well. So go and check those out. Now, this contains the actual battle as well for the Kai Monastery, which we didn't get. So absolutely brilliant fun. And hopefully we'll see you next week where we try book 2. Now, book 2, I've been collecting these books for 20 odd years. I have never completed book 2. Never. Absolutely never. I have never got past it, and I have got so frustrated. Whether we will be able to do it or not, I don't know. I really don't know. The question is, do we use the old version or do we use the new version, which have been updated and modernized with notes that the author Joe Dever had sort of written down, but maybe had got excised for various reasons in the 80s? The old version or the new version? We'll vote next week, so please join me when we come back next week. And if I'm not here or something's not going on, look at our social media. That's discord.gg/greatgm. You can join our Discord group. You can join our Facebook group. You can join our Twitter at HowToGM. We're all over the place. You can find us. And we'll let you know if there's no show. Otherwise, we will see you next time for more adventures in Magnamund with Lone Wolf as we try to complete Book 2. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for voting. John Smith, thank you for a donation. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Until next time, I wish you and yours the happiest of gaming.